Hello everyone and welcome back to City Skylines, the 1 hour a day build in our city of Lifstrom. I am, as usual, your host and insane mayor, Zerberus. And the insanity, as you can see, has started. We're going to completely redesign a large part of our city. We have enough money. We should somehow manage to survive this. If we don't do too much at a time. So yeah, I'll just grab a sip of whiskey cola and we'll get right to it. But right off the bat, this already looks much better without all that unnecessary zoning in there. So yeah, if nothing else, we're gonna see some minor visual improvements. Why did I just pause the game? And while we're at it, we're also going to add more parkage. Maybe even draw in an actual city park in here somewhere. Although in a low density residential, you wouldn't necessarily have that many massive parks per se. Park with trees. No, I want the small park, I think it's called. It doesn't really fit in there. Doggy park at the end. Nah, we'll just leave it. Because this is, again, all now low density residential. And we're down to 206,000 people. Yeah, the industry is... Yeah, because we currently have no commercial zones, we knocked all of those out. Yeah, there's of course a minor issue right now with customers for the industry, but yeah, the industry is actually gonna, as dumb as it sounds, they're gonna have more problems before they're gonna have less. Because for example, all of this needs to be low density as well. But here, we won't put in a high-rise ban. So yeah, this out here is not just low density, but it all has high-rise bans as well. If at least it should. Ding, 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 ding. So Crest Heights has a Let's get out of this menu. Crest Heights, I'm fairly certain, has a high-rise ban. They don't yet. They do. They do. They also have a heavy traffic ban. They have a high-rise ban. They have a high-rise ban. Well, they have one, but it's not gonna matter because it's a specialized area. They have a high-rise ban. They have a high-rise ban. All of this has a high-rise ban, so we can actually probably long-term, if we want to, either cut this back a little bit and let the rest go to full scale, or we'll add some more industry eventually. I think the second one will probably make more sense. They have a high-rise ban, but that can actually stay high density. That's going to be the one little high-density chunk we're going to want out here, because that fits to being nestled in between these two industry areas. It's just like a dingy, cheap place to work for people that work in the industry. Almost see if we can find like a broken down theme or something like that. It's like the one area of the city that nobody ever wants to go, just period. No, let's just nod and say we did. They have a high-rise ban. There's a high-rise ban in there. There isn't a high-rise ban in there. Why is there not a high-rise ban in here? Sorry for any historical industries that may have existed in there, although I don't think anything like that exists. They also need a high-rise ban. Everybody gets a high-rise ban. You get a high-rise ban. You get a high-rise ban. And what we're also going to do in these older districts, we're going to unset historical. So that means the high-rise ban is actually going to knock out buildings. At least it should. Oh, we won, we lost, we won, we won, we lost, or something like that. No, so we're actually going to have to actively rezone that, but that's all not a problem, because what's nice is that we can actually see the park layouts a little bit. If we scroll out just a little bit, well, we can't scroll out, but we can reasonably see where we're, like, missing a reasonably large park, for example, in one of these residential areas. For the most part, it's okay. For the most part, they're working with smaller parks. I think we can actually, considering they're going to go with low density, actually just leave those the way they are. Still never filled this in. Basically the point of what we're doing is that we need to disincentivize high density buildings by, well, yeah, simply removing them all completely. Oh, you know what? We can actually do that much, much faster and much, much more effectively. Ooh, this is going to hurt some people. They're not going to like this at all. Let's get out of whatever this tool this is. Let's just get into like a no tool. Thank you. So, Orchard Park. We can tear out everything that's in there instantly. More or less instantly. So that's this entire chunk. By setting a commercial specialization to any commercial that might be in there. And also setting an IT cluster. And setting self-sufficient buildings. Since none of this is historical, all of this should get torn out. Because none of this is in a zone anymore where it's allowed to be. Come on. And I do understand this is quite dangerous. In fact, yeah, this is going to be the last district we actually do something like that to for the time being. Otherwise, our income may actually go down too far. They should be moving out. Why are they not moving out? Do we really have to rezone it as well? Okay. So then we'll just do this the easy way. No residential specialization. No office specialization. We do have a high-rise ban. Commercial will be organic and local. We definitely don't want industry. And yeah, now is where it starts to hurt then. In fact, we'll get rid of the offices completely. And replace those. Basically, the entire area just gets unzoned now first. Well, why are we doing this so slow then? Where's the border? The border is that road. Just want to create a small buffer where I basically can't hit anything that we don't want to unzone. And that's exactly what we didn't want to do, and that's why we're just going to take the pure unzoning tool now. So now, We'll want some low density commercial in here. Just alongside the park, basically. Not in here. We'll just use this tool. We seem to be better with that. So speed along here. That of course is also low density. All of this along the main highway connections is going to be a low density commercial area. And of course along the highway. I'm not worried so much about the offices. It's actually a reasonably nice commercial area. Put some more trees in the back and actually look pretty nice. Add some more commercial just in here. Around the central services and things like that. Just where you would normally find a little bit of commercial also. Yeah, and the rest gets hit as low density residential. Hey, we actually chose the right tool the first time this time. Yay! But we also screwed up and hit a few things up there. But we managed to rezone them, I think, fast enough. So now we're down to 196. The game is actually moving significantly faster. I can feel how much faster and actually see visually how much faster it's moving. So now some of this just needs to really, really start coming in. And with a bit of luck, our industry up here will finally be getting a few workers. Not really. 83 out of 192, seriously. Does this have to be like right next to the city center, or just do we really have to just connect it better? That could absolutely be that we simply need better public transport so people can get there. We're not worried about those industries that are going to wind up tearing themselves out. That is unfortunately just going to be a necessary side effect of this. I just hope some of it's actually coming in. But it looks like, yeah, we're getting buildings. We're getting buildings. It's just taking a little bit longer than we would really like. But I think we can weather this. Where it's going to get a little bit more disgusting. When we start knocking out Prospect Hills, you know what? All we need to do with them, yeah, they can have high-rise, low density. So slightly more crunchy, so to speak. Because we obviously don't want to kill all of our industry's customers. At least not at the same time. I mean, again, none of this should be unrecoverable. But it is a significant redesign, so it's not necessarily going to be easy, and it may even be something that we should have waited with a little bit longer, but I just really wasn't seeing this being that much fun to play with such a hugely high population this early into the build. And these should, yeah, exactly, these will all build up to about that height. So that is actually going to be higher than whatever comes in over here. With the exception of this tourist area, which we may even... You know what, I think we're going to reduce the size of that. Up to that little nook. So that is going to come out again. I think that's going to serve us much better overall. And we do have people moving back in again. Our income, of course, is completely tanked. But if nothing else, we can always grift our citizens. So there's always the good old 30% tax trick. I just tend not to use it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Oh, did our workers here now just actually go down again? That was not part of the plan. Yeah, exactly. And things like the high-rise district here, for example, the IT sector, that just needs to go completely. That can totally be at most normal offices. And here, actually, we can do the same thing. The nice thing, though, is that that's going to knock those buildings out, and a lot of them don't have enough customers anyway. And incentivize people to come over to work over here. I mean, where else are you going to work if there's just literally nothing else to do? Ore industry, they're also hurting for workers. Yeah, you can tell that our population was just really overblown. Or that the whole city was basically just a little bit overblown already. And so now we need to get back a little bit more to what we originally started with. Because that was actually working really well. Well, not necessarily because of how it was working, but this is actually really more because of how it looks. So, do we want to add maybe a third monument in here? Nah, I don't think so. Maybe a large park, though. We're not going to get a large park in here. Not even going to get a small park in here without too much effort. Slope too steep. That I think is still going to work. Yeah, we'll just move that node over a hair. Or actually just straighten that road a bit and move the node over. Just a wee bit. And then we've actually got a large park. Or a small park with trees right on the opposite side from the Sea and Sky Tower. Or Sea and Air Tower or whatever it's called. Oh, that's right. We also have Colossus in here, so I don't think we really need more attractions in this little mini touristy area. Other than, again, maybe... Well, we could put like a skate park or something like that in there. I think we have one of those somewhere. Basketball court. There's a skate park. And they totally need a few of those in the residential area as well. Just because skateboards rule. Every residential area needs its own skateboard. Oh, welcome the Arathion and the 41 people that you have with you. Welcome to the channel. And I'm going to assume that's also thank you for the for the follow. Yes. I didn't actually want to put that there. What was I doing? There. We're tossing in a few skate parks. So... it's going fine. I'm actually going through a we're going through a massive redesign. All of this used to be high density, but we wound up with like 250,000 population, and the overall goal is actually like 500. So the idea right now is to cull back our population just a little bit, put in more low density out in here, and really start working with the high density in here and turn this into a massive city center. Overall, it's working well, although now we're a little bit in the hole as far as money goes, so the faster that comes back in, the better. Yeah, slowly getting workers in our forestry industry. And yeah, that's right, we also still need to set up some farms. Oh, that mound is a little bit... Ugh. Let's see if we can't already pull that down a little bit. This map, what's it called? Colossal Hillside by the Owl. It's on the Steam Workshop. I actually like the map, but there are a few little interesting things like this, and like the way the traffic out here in the starting tile was set up. Like, where is it? Where were we? This is the starting tile, and this roundabout setup is actually reminiscent of what was originally there. But what was originally there was actually more something like this, with single lanes, and a single lane roundabout is like, what? How is that supposed to work? Every time I looked at it, I was kind of wondering what owl was smoking and where I could get it. Whoa, that was the wrong button. Oops. Didn't want to level, I wanted to smooth it. But we do have a larger brush, so we can kind of drag some of that back in. You know what, we'll just level it to this height. Yeah, we'll level it to that height and then smooth it from there. God, we created like this huge depression in here, didn't we? So that worked absolutely not at all. It's not raising our roads, is it? No, we're really just trying to get back to that height. Okay, so you know what? Brush size there, that's the height we want. Boom. And now we smooth it. And our farming area is prepared. Yeah, again, thanks for popping by. Feel free to come by any other time. I do these more or less every day here on Twitch. Not always every day. The last 2-3 days I actually haven't gotten a chance to stream for a few real-life reasons. And if you miss it on Twitch, though, there's always the YouTube channel, although YouTube is like 2 weeks behind Twitch now, something like that, because when Shadowlands comes out in 2 weeks, I'm probably not going to be streaming City Skylines for a few days. So if you want to see how it really started out and what insanity got us to this point, and there's actually quite a bit of insanity still to come, again, check out the YouTube channel. And so, exactly, of course now all of this is like zero traffic, because there's like no reason for anybody to move in there. We're still only getting a traffic flow of 79% though, probably exactly because of a huge amount of people relocating. I'm still surprised that this is working at all. Yeah, that might probably not be a bad idea. I'll definitely look into that after the stream, yeah. Because I did actually want to do that a few days ago. I just kind of totally spaced it and forgot. Yeah, take care of yourself, man. Stay safe, stay healthy, and yeah, see you next time. Cheers. And yeah, rest of stream, just out of curiosity, how far in are we? About half an hour, something like that. So, yeah, unfortunately right now, there's not really much we can do. If we rezone anything else, we run the risk of screwing ourselves, so all we can really do right now is unfortunately wait a little bit for them to come in. Ah, this is just moving so much faster now. Come on, guys, move in. Everybody move in. This is starting to come in. Good thing is, goods should not actually be much. Oh, we actually have only half of the businesses we had without as much goods. Although I do think some of them have just packed up and gone home. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on how the numbers keep rolling. But again, if all else goes to hell, we can still just knock these up to the point where people start moving in and then knock them back down, and that'll grift them probably for an easy million or something like that. Or we could just cut 30k off our road budget. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Harbor, 11,000. How many tourists are we getting? Is that anywhere worth anywhere near 11,000 to have that still running? At capacity, at least? City attractiveness actually isn't that bad. I'm a bit surprised. I'm 1,500 tourists. I think the cap is 2,500. Okay. Nice. Now, there are quite a few tourists, actually, just about everywhere, yeah. This is working better than I expected, to be honest. Over here, we have a high-density tourism section, although we may or may not. Yeah, but that's right next to Central Station. I mean, come on, if you're not gonna have a high-density tourism station, where else, if not between Central Station and the amusement? The amusement park! That's right, we completely forgot about that. Do we have that many parks? Oh yeah, most of those are probably just walking paths. 344,000 visitors. 1.2 million visitors in Anchor Garden. Okay, yikes. So, where is our amusement park? Where is our roller coaster and our Ferris wheel? Because now we get to build those. Roller coaster. That's what we're looking. Whoa, that is a huge sucker, isn't it? But it'll actually work right there if we realign these paths. So that's what we're going to do. I wish I could put these paths in without... Yeah, I can, that's right. I can just use the landscaping tool instead. Seriously, was that anarchied in, or were they anarchied in? How exactly did that go? We'll anarchy the road in, or the path, I should say. So. Oh, that's, of course, a fail. So, and then we can put the Ferris wheel. Where do we want to put the Ferris wheel? Where is the Ferris wheel? Does that go up higher than the coaster? Or yes, it does. So, do we want that here more at the entrance? I don't think so. I think we're gonna want that like somewhere here in the middle, like here-ish, or maybe literally just right across from the roller coaster. You know what? We'll give it its own path. that actually hooks up back there. Yeah, that'll work nicely. And we'll just throw it right there. Does look kind of barren with those trees in there though, so that's what we'll have to do next, is treeify the place. Obviously not with a size 2000 brush. Prop and tree anarchy is off. Excellent. Basically come into the amusement park and you're kind of locked off from the outside world by these trees everywhere. The only real connection left is kind of going to be then the, like the Ferris wheel. That's where you can see above the trees. I really need to get rid of that tree line brush. That is causing us nothing but grief. Here with the trees. And there goes the Twitch chat. 1 second. So, and don't worry, this is not going to be a monoculture, of course. We are going to add some more trees of different styles. So, in fact, did I miss anything in chat? No, I didn't, I think. No, I didn't. There. Thank you for giving me a spot where it wasn't going to immediately plop a tree. So, I think this is going to work just fine. Now here on the outside, there we do actually want to create that barrier of trees. That was a little bit too far. Wrong side of the fence. Because again, the outside, they don't need to be able to look in. We want them to buy tickets. Maybe I will leave the tree line brush, because for things like this is actually pretty awesome. Whoops. So they get a thicker line, who cares? Actually pretty glad I don't have anarchy on for that right now, because I would just be drawing trees everywhere. Oh, forgot one. Right up to the edge. So, and now we want a second style of tree, though. Obviously not in insane numbers that the line brush is going to try to put him in, but maybe we'll add like a little plaza in there. Well, I don't think we really need it. It's not like entertainment value can go up. Well, it can go up, but ticket prices aren't going to go up, so there's no real point in making this more expensive just to run. Might be a little bit overloaded with trees, but I think it's actually okay. Because, I mean, can we get a first-person camera, like, on somebody walking in there? Is that possible? Yes, it is. So let's just see what the amusement park looks like when you're walking through it. Then we'll know whether or not this is bullshit or not. But right now, I think this actually overall looks, yeah, just walking along, having fun. What was that? Did you guys see that guy? That guy in the blue chicken suit or whatever that was? Oh, that's probably like a chirpy or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, and you can see a bit of the city, but that was the whole point of putting in all these trees, that you really can't see too much of this with a green chirp. That you can't see too much of the city, but you really just have like your experience of being in the amusement park and not really caring about anything else. And then when it opens up into spots like this, yeah, it works really nice. I wish we could pan left and right in the first person camera, but I don't think that's gonna happen until we get like City Skylines virtual reality or something like that. You need Oculus Rift to look left and right in the first person camera. That's actually a pretty awesome idea now that I think about it. Obviously, with these textures, it's not going to be. You're not going to have like a Half-Life Alyx experience, but then again, you can add better textures. But that was better than I expected, to be honest. Yeah, just go. From ground level, it's really a nice place. So let's see what's going on over here. They're still not moving in, at least not as fast as we would like them to. They are, but it's just taking forever. Here we got another one coming in. But we can't really do all too much else now, because if we do, again, then we run the risk of actually legitimately breaking something, and yeah, legitimately broken things are not good. They tend to cause even more problems. Yeah, like that office area. In fact, you know what? We're going to de-zone that completely for the time being. Just give people more of a reason to work in the industry. Because I want people back in that freaking forestry industry. So, all you people with your office buildings and your shiznit and who knows, get out of here. Just get out of here. No suits. Not today. And no, you don't get compensation. Just leave before we skin you alive. No, citizens aren't that bad. It's only the mayor. Oh wait, that's me. Oops. And we're gonna have to revisit this as well. It was fun for the first few hours while it was in there, and it's actually still working surprisingly well considering the amount of traffic that's on there, but yeah, it's still just a bad idea. Well, it's not a bad idea, it's just not the ideal place to put it, and they would need more connections for it to really work well. It's kind of hard to believe that when we ended episode 45, the original thought was that we would put another roundabout here and then start expanding the city. But then I just watched episode 25 and realized, oh my god, what happened to the progress bar? And yeah, so I think the 500k that we originally planned is really going to be a long-term goal. In the sense of we're going to build up to like maybe 350 or something like that over the long term. And then at the end we're just going to lift the high-rise bands everywhere, and that'll probably push us all over all sorts of limits. Fish market's still... 80 fish still sold last week, so that could still be running worse. And I do still like this little bit of detailing we put in the back here. Just extra containers for fish. So, but over here, tourism's coming in. That is all low density, isn't it? Because that really seems high for low density, doesn't it? That's low density, huh? That's tourism. We'll leave it. I mean, again, it's specifically set up to serve this area. They've got a metro station in here. That's probably the whole reason they're still selling anything and all the tourists are buying fish. At least that's the explanation I'm going to go with. Yeah, not enough workers. Kind of to be expected currently with nobody moving in. Come on, guys. You moved into all this low-density residential once before. You can do it again. Then again, let's see what the story is up here, because this is really part of the reason that we were doing all of that. Oh, still only 82 out of 992 workers, and this still isn't filling in. That's what kind of annoys me the most, is that, yeah, I mean, okay, they would in parts have to make a massive, God, well, that is a lot of shipping traffic, isn't it? They would, of course, have to move into the low-density residential areas up there and relocate, and eventually they will. But I get a feeling Sims are just generally pretty stubborn. That is a low-density... That's an organic food market? Seriously? Okay. Seems a bit high. Yeah, even a lot of this low-density commercial isn't coming in, so it's really... As dumb as it sounds, all we can really do right now is sit back and watch. And that's, of course, not the best... best sort of mega... entertaining content for a stream or a YouTube channel for that matter, but yeah, it's not necessarily about being entertaining, it's about building up this city. Although entertaining is of course fun. I mean, if you guys like what you see, please, of course, as usual, feel free to follow, like, subscribe. You know the drill. But this is actually doing fine. They're not having... Oh, no, they are having some worker issues after all. But it's not an education issue. At least it shouldn't be. Nope. They have overeducated workers, if anything. So, do we want to risk it and tear out some more high-density commercial? I think we don't, because the low density isn't coming in fast enough to warrant it yet. That said, with this... That's right, wait a second. How many university students do we have? Oh, cool. We have capacity now all of a sudden for more students than we actually have. That's nice. That's the wrong button. Yeah, but we still have enough that the university is just making money out the wazoo, so... University may actually still be a significant part of what's keeping us afloat. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Building is on fire. Who's the arsonist? Send the police. Screw the fire department. Yeah, that was definitely arson. I mean, elementary school. That was some disgruntled kid with a matchbook. Lock him up. Where are the police? Do we have a prison? Just now that I'm thinking of it, do we even have a prison? No, we don't. We don't even have a prison yet. So, yeah, when we get to the whole lock him up... Although I think we'll build our own prison. I don't think we're going to take the pre-made one. Because the pre-made one is just kind of very bland. A lot of the pre-made assets are bland. I mean, don't get me wrong. But this one is just like... It turns the bland up like a notch. Especially for what you would expect a prison to look like. I mean, this is... That's not a prison. That's... that's... Oh! That's right, that's right. We wanted to put in... Now that I think about it, since we've been oppressing them so massively over these past few weeks, they have absolutely earned access to an oppression office. Where do we want to put that where it'll still look reasonable though? How loud is that? Noise pollution is 10, so that's a non-issue. So yeah, we'll put the oppression office just somewhere out here. Or? Yeah. I'll go out in here somewhere. In fact, we'll put a little park around it. Not anything major, we'll just create a little mini park with some of the in-game assets. Like for example right here. There. Small park on that side. I don't know if a large playground is going to fit so well with the oppression office. I'm really good at not clicking on what I actually want to use. Can we maybe get a large park in here after all? No way. No way. So... but in here it might work. Yeah, just a little bit too skinny. So, you know what? We'll actually just anarchy that in. We may even anarchy in 2 of them. Slightly overlapping. Oh, that actually looks surprisingly good. I'm not even going to touch that. That looks like we did that 100% on purpose. And in that case, we'll see if we can't maybe get one more in here. Obviously not. That's not going to work, at least unless we knock that out. And we don't want to do that. That's just going a little bit too far. So, exactly. We'll just put in a playground for all the oppressed kitties as well. And now that thing just kind of stands more or less on its own. We'll remove the zoning around it. On the entire block. We don't have to remove those little mini houses on the edge. We can actually leave those. And in fact, we can put mini houses back here as well. That commercial zoning is a fail. And we'll add some of our classic tree setup. Yeah, that looks reasonable. Add in 2 walking paths, exactly. Knew I was forgetting something. We'll go with the bicycling paths, of course. And we will absolutely anarchy those in if they have to be. Sorry about your home, dude, but bye. Did that really not connect? No, it connected. Okay. Exactly, more paths. That's what I was thinking of. Because the only reason this isn't already pathed up is because it was originally a commercial zone. Actually, was it? No, it was high density. That's right. It was never a commercial zone, so there was really never a reason for that not to be pathed up. Oh, and they need... Why do they have why do they even have 4-lane roads in there? What was the plan there? It definitely went wrong. Although we'll leave the 4-lane roads. No, we won't. Knock them out here too. This is a full residential area. There's no reason for 4-lane roads in here. Unless we're trying to do what we did in the tourism area and literally waste space on purpose, as dumb as it sounds. Where we just use the roads basically as a way to clear things up a little bit. Don't want to touch those highway ramps. Don't want to touch that. Oh yeah, we do actually, because that district has also already been redesigned. So up until there, exactly, that was where the break point was between the districts. So we'll leave that as a 4-lane, so that we know that we haven't actually done anything there yet. There. Now that's a nice, reasonable, low-density residential area. Somebody just has to move into all this crap, and then we'll be then we'll be happy. Let's pull that down a little bit. And maybe push this one up a little bit, because that looked a bit horky going up there. That looks much better. Oh, come on, guys. Will you just move in? It's not rocket science. Well, actually, for Sims, it just might be. Rocket science, that's a good word. When and where do we want to put a chirpy launch site? We'll think of that later. Because, unfortunately, as I'm just noticing, we are very likely just about to hit the end of our time mark. Maybe we'll eventually figure out a way to get this under control, but those of you that have watched episode 30 to 32, or will be watching episode 30 to 32 soon on YouTube, oh yeah, you will soon know that the original plan for how to change this initially went horribly, horribly wrong. And this is actually a semi-reasonable solution to that problem. But, you know what we're going to do? We're going... You know what, are we going to do that now? We could do it now. I mean, there's not really much else we can do right now, so we may as well. We're going to level these out a little bit. What is with the Move It mod? Why is that not coming up? Ah, got some sort of an autosave going on or what? Why is the game suddenly so unbelievably slow? I think that may have been something with my PC going on, like maybe a virus scan or something. Don't think that was anything with the game itself, because now it's working fine again. Because the whole idea behind this was actually to have these be like a set of locks, where the water would just go in and, well, die? It's almost the right set of words. Just basically where it wouldn't do exactly what it's doing there. And overflow. Because the whole purpose of these was kind of to prevent the flooding that happens when we start the map. Because as a result of having the water supply so close to the dam, the game really, really does some interesting spiky stuff with the water levels when the game starts. It's actually kind of hilarious to watch the first time. You just think, oh my god, what is going on here? And then you just suddenly realize that all that water has to go somewhere, and somewhere is, well, here. And we were you know what? That's right. We were getting flooding here in... Where were we getting flooding? Was that here in this area? Or was that over here? We'll find out next time. I mean, nice thing is there's nobody living there anymore, so we don't have to worry too much about the flooding. That's not too bad. So we've got our industry complaints still, of course. We've got our yeah, that's also an industry complaint, and considering that industry is the one thing we didn't remove, yeah, Not too surprising. What's the story up here? Get rid of the movement mod. Why is this down to 76 workers? We've been displacing workers out in the front the whole time. If nothing else works, then we'll really add some more high density back in here, but I really don't want to. But it does appear to be at least part of the solution. You know what? We'll make this whole chunk high density. Screw it. They do have a high-rise ban, so there's that. But just to get the people in there for the industry. Because that should be like another, what, 20, 30, 50 families. It should theoretically be about another 50 workers. If they ever move in, because unfortunately we currently have, as you can see, no demand, no demand, no demand. So, we're going to have to just wait and see how exactly that comes in. The kids appear to be having fun. What is this guy, though? Oh, he's... I think I know what that is. That's one of those... yeah, one of those personal... Yeah, yeah. They have electric... There are electric transports in the game, and they look like kind of like... how should I say? Kind of weird... like weird... oh, what's the word I'm looking for F's sake? Wheelchairs. Thank you. Words. What are those? How do I use them? I may need a tutorial on that. Can we maybe get one more cul-de-sac in there off there? Yes, we can, and that's not gonna... that is actually gonna really screw with their zoning, so let's take a smaller one. See if the normal large doesn't do us better. The normal large actually won't fit, haha. And neither will the... So why did the extra large fit and the others won't? That's... Can somebody explain that concept to me? Let's see if we can get it. Just... Oh. Yeah! Wait a sec. That was... Right... There. Oh yeah, and that'll just tie up the high density nicely into that one little block, or section I should say. 77, so it did go up. Maybe it helped, maybe it didn't. But that number is just too high. What can we cut off? We don't want to cut off education, because that's going to cost us more than it's going to save. So water, we're actually doing well for. Electricity, I get a feeling maybe, no, is also not a problem yet. Okay, so those are two services we could theoretically cut. Practically, we probably don't want to. Yeah, but there isn't really much we can reasonably cut. Although... Can we... No, actually that's only going to mostly affect our zoned industry, and our zoned industry isn't actually having problems. So, no, let's not do that either. We can cut the metro budget, though. And just knock up the number of trains. Same with the train station. It's not going to make a huge difference, but it's going to make a difference. Education. We don't want to cut... Actually, we can cut parks and plazas. No. Wait a sec. We don't want to cut parks and plazas because that's going to lower happiness and make even fewer people move in. Well, even fewer. We're still even though we've unzoned all of this, we still actually have managed to hover at or around 200k. So really, it's just a question of when all of these people finally start moving back in. That's really all we're waiting for, is for people to finally start moving back in, and then our income should it should even out again, and the demands and everything should also even out. I mean, the tourist industry over here, this is actually the first of the new commercial zones that we designed, and this is actually almost complete. So people are, and we can see for the most part people are moving in. They're just not moving in anywhere near as fast as we'd like them to. But I really don't want to knock out another high density residential area quite yet, but this is definitely the next candidate. I mean, they're basically already, they have 1 foot out the door. So we'll just unzone their commercial up in here and just start it off with that. That can stay. Don't want the commercial zones outside, on the outside ring of the university. We might eventually, but right now we don't. I'm thinking the not enough workers complaints are primarily going to be solved, as dumb as it may sound, by simply reducing the amount of workspaces, which is also part of why we're knocking out commercial here. Really, is that gumming up? Shouldn't even be that many trains there. That's ring counterclockwise, and that's ring counterclockwise. Really? Well, then again, we did just lower the budget, so that might also knock out a few of these trains, because those really shouldn't be gumming up. Should really be just like one after the other. But that could also just be a hiccup. No, it's 3 of them now. So let's see what the numbers look like. Ring counterclockwise, 830 a week. That doesn't require 8 vehicles. That'll do just fine with 4. $632. They're already running 4. We could probably even go down, but we'll leave it. 913 people a week with only 4 vehicles. That is, somebody's doing a lot of work. So yeah, let's pump that up to 3,500 people waiting for a metro. So yeah. Those numbers might go up even further. Here we're also mostly full, so we'll give them another 2 vehicles. I did not expect the metros to be this well used. Anymore, at least. 100% car trips saved. We'll give them another 2 as well. We just knocked down the budget and now we have to add more vehicles. That's hilarious. So they're starting abandonment. Some of this is coming in though, so it's just taking ages. That's really the big, I mean, really it's all probably boiling down to this just being way too far away from everything else, so we're probably simply just gonna have to bite the bullet and go with public transport out in here. If nothing else, just hook up to this passenger rail line. It's probably actually not even a bad idea. Put a small commercial area over here and then a passenger rail into there, be done with it. Really is probably the best idea, yeah. Do we have any way for them to get straight over into that commercial area if we build it? No, so that means we're going to have to take one of these roads, probably this one, and just put a bridge on it. Don't like that zoning at all. Any more wacko zoning in here? No, not really. Although this could, as dumb as it sounds, also be commercial. Sorry guys, but we're right next to the Statue of Industry. I mean, come on. So, we want a straight road off of that. I get a feeling snapping's still off. Yeah. So whatever winds up on the other side is going to connect to there. If anything lines up on the other side. But I think, yeah, a small commercial area is probably going to be a good idea. Again, just hook us up to that rail line. That said, I am fairly certain that we are actually over time. Although, wait a sec, 221. If only I knew how long the last episode was. I really need to look at the clocks more often. We'll just hang another 5 minutes on, and then we should definitely be in or over. I mean, it kind of hurts because, I mean, again, this was a city of 250,000 already, and we were already going super high-rise over here, but yeah, again, it's just too much. It was actually getting to the point where, once again, where this bar was just starting to slow down noticeably. I mean, now you can actually really see a difference between 1 and 3. And if you just look, and with 250k, that was actually almost no difference. And again, considering that the actual end goal is somewhere more in the range of 500k, yeah, again, we don't want to spend the next year building at a snail's pace. It's going up ever so slowly again, it appears. And it is actually earning money, which is almost more surprising. Unfortunately, it's not earning enough money to counteract this. I'm hoping they eventually will once they finally get customers, but yeah. Just all has to come back in, basically. I'm considering whether it may not even make sense to maybe like tear out an industry area as a stopgap measure. Or if it's really worth it to just, as dumb as it sounds, wait. I mean, I'm not particularly stoked at the idea of spending another 2 or 3 streams waiting on things to happen, but yeah, we've done it before when we had to unlock all this stuff, so it's not something completely out of the question. And when you really think about it, I mean, yeah, okay, I mean, it's what? It's going to be 3 hours out of like 300, so yeah, and this with low density, for example, around it is probably even going to look better anyway. What happened there? Oh, that's right. That's because that wasn't actually a roundabout. We drew that in by hand. Yeah, the oil industry is, of course, also getting problems now. Everybody's getting problems. This high density area is basically all that's still serving that industry. Do they have their own district? Yes, they do, and they don't even have a high-rise band, so we may as well put that in right now just to make sure they don't do anything stupid. No, not set historical. We can unset historical, but we want that high-rise band. And just hope that it doesn't tear out like half the buildings, but I don't think it will because none of these seem to be level 5. This one might be. No. So this height is actually just what we want for this area. For now, at least. Because high density near industry, yeah, again, that does make sense. It's the whole reason we have it in here as well. fact, we may go so far as to like replace an industry area with something else. Finally getting some industry demand. It's just a little sliver and it's already gone, but it was there. I saw it. Same thing with this commercial demand, so that's good. When we're at least starting to see a little bit of color at the bottom of the screen, that means there is actually something still working. And that's always good when you basically ran the risk of screwing everything up completely. Oh, we're making... Whoa. I love the industry DLC's fluctuations. I did not expect this to suddenly shoot up to 83,000 a week positive income. That's a very positive surprise. And that's probably the reason why we're still hovering at over 30k. I actually expected us to be much farther down by now. So it is working. Not ideally. At least not yet, but it is working. And it does appear that these are slowly coming in. Yeah, this one just came in. I think it's starting to pick up a little bit of steam. Because this was all much more empty. This is still all pretty empty, but this used to be worse. Here we got another one coming in. One just came in over there. Yeah. Starting to slowly but surely pick up some steam. So, I think this is probably going to be a good place to end the stream for today. After once again causing chaos and disarray in our city. That's, I'm so good at that. And again, once we tear all of this down a little bit closer to ground height, then we can start putting in real skyscrapers over here. I don't think we even have any IT buildings anymore. No. This is the height of the residential buildings that we're going to want in the center of city, and just for reference, this is how high the level 5 residential buildings are then. This is, I mean, just compare that to this. This is what happens when you have the high-rise ban in, so that they can't upgrade to that level. And again, when you take them out, this basically becomes the result. Just almost twice as high for the most part, at least single buildings. Some of them obviously are always going to be a little bit lower, depending on how big the build plot was. And we actually don't even want these to be this high here yet. We actually want this height that I just showed you. That's actually what we're going to want back in here. And then just go higher and higher and higher. Because, wait a sec. 1, 2, 3, yeah. So this area, this is going to be the actual center of town. Somewhere nestled between these two lakes. So this train station may actually wind up moved over eventually. We'll just see on that. But right now, again, all we can really do is sit and wait and hope. But we do still have hope, so at least there's that. So, with that, once again, you guys have been great. I've been Zerb, and I'm going to sign off from from Liftstrom for today. I'll see you guys all next episode, I hope. And again, if you liked what you've seen, feel free to follow me on Twitch or like and subscribe on YouTube. These do go up every day on YouTube. And Twitch, I try to stream every day, but once again, at the very latest, when Shadowlands comes out, there will be a 1, 2, something like that week break in the City Skyline streams. So, again, signing off from Liftstream. You guys have been great. I've been Zerb. See you tomorrow. Cheers.